Greetings, friends. Jason here for AxodysFC. It is Sunday morning, and actually, I don't even want to talk about Spurs today. This one is about Spokane's new USL Super League team, the Spokane Zephyr. It's a women's professional team, considered a Tier 1 on par with the NWSL, and so very high caliber team. There are 8 teams in the league right now, and all their games are on Peacock. So if you live in the U.S. and are curious or like women's soccer, you can watch all their games easily. Anyway, a very big deal for the city and the team and women's soccer in the United States. For them to make their debut. So I was very interested to see how the game went, and I'm definitely hoping in the future to catch a game or two in person. But anyway, attendance was great. They announced it was sold out. Spokane community really showed out. That was pretty cool. Team-wise, I'm very interested in how they were going to play and that kind of thing, and they didn't disappoint me at all. They were very attacking, possession based, and definitely have some players with a little bit of flair. The first goal came from and I'm trying to remember all the names properly. Amina Ekic, who played collegiately at Louisville, was drafted by Louisville, I think originally by the NWSL, but then ended up, moving around as you're often forced to do as a American professional women's player, and last played in Australia's A-League. Anyway, she nutmegged the player, and then got tackled from behind once she bypassed her. It wasn't a totally clean nutmeg, but it was still sweet. And anyway, then just perfectly nailed the penalty, sent the keeper the wrong way, and scored first Spokane Zephyr goal in history, which was really awesome. And then basically we played pretty conservatively going in. That was early in the first half. That was about the 15 or 16 minute mark, I want to say. And we continue to have some looks, but it was more ceding possession to particularly in the second half to Fort Lauderdale, the team we were playing. Anyway, they definitely had more shots on goal, I think. And anyway, defensively, we were pretty solid throughout. One of our key players, Sydney Cummings, who, if you follow women's soccer podcasts, she has one called Megged, and I knew of it actually, but I'm getting into it more definitely after the fact, as well as the Spokane Soccer Show. I've got a shout out to Benji Wade too. I had been aware of him since last fall and followed him on Instagram and things, and it was aware of his love of the Gonzaga women's soccer team, who had a historic season last year, and I work at Gonzaga, so I follow them pretty closely and go to their games from time to time as well. Anyway, it was cool to have those kind of insights, and he's been doing a really good job of working with Sydney and her co-host Abby, and they great podcast. Looking forward to listening to more and that kind of thing. But Anyway, in the meantime, back to the game. Overall, super entertaining. I really liked the look of our keeper, Izzy Nino. She's about 6'1", athletic, good mobility. She looks solid with the ball at her feet. The one thing, too, I would say, for a team that, it did seem to want to possess and build up, they definitely weren't Ange Ball levels of building up at all costs. Plenty of clearances when we got into trouble on the defensive end. And I was almost to the point where I was like, I think you don't always have to be that safe. But then ironically, the one goal, the equalizer that we gave up, because it ended up being a 1-1 draw, was on an attempt to build it up out of the back. But I think it was one of our midfielders who had her pass intercepted that led to their counter and score, essentially. And it was, it was in our defensive third at that time. So, and on that play, Izzy had a hand on the ball, just didn't quite deflect it enough, and it trickled up over her, essentially. But overall, looked very comfortable with the ball at her feet, and at least one time sent a long direct shot over the defense to Mackenzie Weinert, who I believe was kind of a last-minute addition for us. Another, we have a few NWSL loans, season-long loans options, which I think are great, and it just shows too that potentially there's good talent sitting on NWSL rosters that are not getting to play. And I mean, good caliber players should be playing and getting on the field. So anyway, really liked Weinert and what I saw from her. Good speed, physicality, and anyway, there was a great opportunity where Nino had, kicked long and direct and hit her kind of in stride perfectly. I don't think anything really came out of it, but it was a very, very good option, from time to time, depending on what kind of teams we encounter in terms of, if they're high pressing hard and we can't get out or whatever. Cool to see we have that capability. Other NWSL loanee with a local connection was Sophie Braun, who plays for the Argentina national team. I've actually talked to her back in the summer of 2023. Anyway, she started in the midfield for us as well, and it was good to see her moving around, and definitely had a great opportunity for a late go-ahead score, winning, header, where Weinert put a perfect cross across the face of the goal. Sophie was coming at the far post from the right, and got her head on it, and it was just slightly wide of the goal. It was right there. So, really, really, overall, I was impressed with the way we were able to work the ball up the sideline. There was some nifty footwork along the touchline, and it was very promising to me, for especially this early in the life of the club. I mean, first game ever, and anyway, very, very fun game to watch. I also earlier in the day, the first Super League game of the season was between the Carolina Ascent, who are based in Charlotte, and they were playing DC, and basically it started out that Carolina kind of jumped on them, I think. Well, and actually, yeah, it was like, I don't know what one of the defenders were doing. It was on a free kick, actually. It was a little Tottenham-esque, to be honest, in terms of, yeah, anyway, scenario where good free kick into the box. One of the players, it was kind of two offensive players were being covered by one, because there was one defender that was like looking at the sideline away from where it was being kicked. It was bizarre when I saw that on the replay, because I think she should have been defending. Anyway, and basically after that they held on. And so I am curious to tune in and catch I think there are a couple more games today, and see what the rest of the league looks like. DC definitely had some moments, I would say, and I can see the quality level of all the players, but I'm intrigued to see what the last 4 teams look like, and it should be an interesting season. Spokane doesn't play again until September 8th, Saturday, September 8th, so a few weeks off. But I imagine and I think they play Brooklyn, actually. So, yeah, I'm curious to see what they look like, and, how we'll match up against them. But anyway, very excited. Essentially, the way Super League is set up, there will be a fall half of the season, and then there'll be a spring half, and basically seven home games in the fall, 14 total, and then I presume 14 in the spring as well, after the kind of winter break that they have, and I think that's a really cool way to set it up. It's it also matches the European transfer windows, and it's just a better way to do it, in my opinion, for the U.S. And anyway, I'm excited to see how they'll do and support them. Definitely, we have a USL men's team as well, which I'm interested in, but I'm honestly more interested in the Zephyr and supporting them, because they're a women's team, and they're at the top level. They're going to be having players that are good enough to be on NWSL rosters, and I just like the idea of supporting. When I have a finite amount of money that I can spend on soccer entertainment, I like the idea of investing it in the team and women's sport that has so much room for growth, and it's also kind of I like the idea of being in on something early in its lifetime, and being cool in that regard. So anyway, I expect to be having, in addition to my usual Tottenham, season-long vlogs, etc., I will be checking in with what the Zephyr are doing after their games, and maybe in whatever happens in the weeks or that much, but super cool to have that starting and in our community, and it was great to see it sell out and be such an entertaining game. So looking forward to more ahead. At any rate, I'm going to check out for now. As always, thanks for tuning in. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy these, and remember, to dare is to do.